Akan itu similakagit to mga Robert Captain at TAMAPTA mun. Tayo basuli uwan at kunang ng mitap ko at kunang niya si Malokinduk. Tayo batay man nakanoktut. Aulak so tiglo tayo batay man na sport hunt tak so tiglo piwang mingmanik. Si walamik tayo batak tam na John Lucas. Yang nanilu tayo batay man nakulak to amagulo kanoktun Elisaw yutinganik. Iman na sila kanok jutanik. Nagalo ni si kumun aulak si magamit tawak suli. Tayo sulip tayo uwan at kunang ng mitakunang niya ay sitak tam na Floyd Sydney. O katigap tayo tayo batay ka ni ikahong may.
My name is John Lucas. I'm from Sachs, Harbour. Originally came from mainland about 30 some odd years ago when my parents moved over here. My dad was a herder for 20 some odd years and he wanted to do something different, so he hitched a ride with Angus Elias and moved over here in '58 to try trapping out. I eventually came across here in about 1964, I guess, to help my dad trap. Well, that time there was a lot of abundance of foxes, you know, and needed a hand. And 1967, I got married in State Havens. I'm married to Samantha Pokak, Bertram's daughter. And we had five children of our own. We adopted two. When I came over here, you know, everybody was mostly trapping around here at that time, and it was good living, but you know, it's also it was kind of tough for me getting out of school and getting right into trapping, and I didn't know nothing about setting a trap or anything, so my dad was very helpful about that. And after a while you start picking up a little bit at a time, that sort of thing, from different people that you go out with. Well, when we go on a traveling, like, you know, it starts off like, you know, you're setting a lot of traps when you first start off, so you're gone about 16, 17 days, that sort of thing. And you just keep extending your trap line as you go on through the year. Like you go a little bit further every trip. And when you get by the time March and April come around, you have a long line to look at, you know. And it takes about 10, 12 days somewhere around there after you get all your traps set. Well, first you have to find a good knoll or something to toggle your trap, you know, with soft snow, sticky snow. You put the ring in it, you put some more soft snow, and you just kick it down with your heel a few times and toggle. And after that you make a mount, snow mount with a scoop. From there you put what the old timers call is a piss dump, you know, for the foxes to on top the knoll. Like when they start teaching us about trapping, that sort of thing, you know, all the animals that you hunt, like for caribou, for instance, you learn how to, you know, cut up the meat, that sort of thing, and like, you know, bring everything back. It's like at that time, you know, you never had any store-bought stuff, you know. It's all out on our land stuff. Same thing with the foxes. You skin everything that are soft enough to skid out there. Well, most of the time when we go sport hunting, we always go on the west side, like, you know, towards Sturgeon Bay, Norway Island, because down there's all these polar bears, like, you know, good sized ones that the sport hunters get and that sort of thing, which is good, you know. Well, down there you get some bears that are local bears, what you call local bears. It's the ones that stick around. But most of the time we go down there in April to go sport hunting or hunt for ourselves. They're always migrating north, like, you know. It's like they go, in the springtime they go north, fall time they come down this way.
You were TAMAPTA tip Sanang Mayok John Lucas. You were TAMAQuat Kanok to sport hunter Nermod Holiak to Maget. You were solitaire, you were time on a TAMAPTA kun knocked out in a Kuyakun, you were time John Lucas, Holiak Amat, Kanokton Elisa Juminic, Ernie Minigun. Kanok to you were Taman Silop Ijusianic, Nagalonit Kanokitanic Sikum, the Kuyakutakun.
They have, like, we have two separate guides, like muskox and polar bear.
Okay.
The muskox guides look after their own, like, you know, the younger generation.
Yeah. So that's just like training for them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, they have, like myself, I take my son out.
Yeah.
He's my helper.
Yeah.
I train him at the same time that I'm out naturally.
Okay.
Yeah. Same thing with muskox hunters. They have a helper. They're teaching them, you know. Well, I remember Fred and Kayokluk got some way back, but you know, that was on the east side, always running, you know.
Fast runners.
Yeah. But when you go north, it's different. A lot of times when you see wolves, you shut your skidoo off, you walk a little ways on the side, they come to you. I get some, you know, the females are always shy in the back.
Yeah.
I used to always wait for the females to get close. Sometimes I get the male about that close, he's growling at me and I don't want to lose. You know, I'd rather shoot the female. Right. Yeah, now the ice conditions around here really changed from, you know, quite a while back. There's no more multi-year ice that, you know, where two ice, like, you know, where the young ice and the old ice meet. It's about, you know, it's where the polar bears always travel around, you know, where now I never see very much, even when you go further north. The same thing even around here. You just get year ice, which is frozen over that same winter. It's not as much multi-year ice as before. Okay. But the Duroc and young ice, where they form, that's where, you know, it's where I hunt mostly around. The ones you're getting up here are mostly from the States, like, you know, throughout the United States, like all different parts of the States. And yeah, we use dog team, but we also have our helper that we take out. He hauls all our equipment out to where we're going to go set up a base camp. And from there we use the dog team. The majority of the hunters that come up here, they always want big bears, like, you know, they want, most of them are after the bigger male bears. Yeah. But when it comes down to about, you know, the 12th, 13th day, some of them, they're willing to go with an 8-footer, you know, just so that they don't go back home with nothing. Well, it's like myself, I take one of my sons out that I teach about what it's all about out in the ice, like, you know, which ice to go on, which one not to go. You know. And that one, I got that one in April when I went down to the end of the island, you know, northwest tip of Banks Island. And it came from the north of Banks Island, you know, for a grizzly bear. It's unusual to get that kind up here because Banks Island is not known for grizzly bear country, you know. It's very uncommon to get that kind up here. Grizzly bear, I know it probably, this one, the one I got in with was probably just got out of hibernation or going. But this one was really healthy animal, but it had nothing in the stomach. But I would presume that it, you know, licked off rodent lemmings. Or
Kanada, you were TAMAPTA tip sana ang miyok ubane APTN me. Kuinaini tayo tamaptung tip sa aming kapsitaw suli. Tayo talk taman Floyd Sydney. Kanok to tayo tamakkwat. Ang unya ko yuat iman na sport hunt taksutiglo ikahong me. Kanok to tayo tamakkwat ilisaw yutinilo ilitanilo tayo bakuliak to magit nakuyo ako takunaksyo.
Going back into the 70s again, I remember when the elders were started into this business. Was they were I don't know how they got their marketing going, but we just continued on when after they broken the ice for us and gave us or opened the doors for us, our generation today, to continue on. And so we've got to thank them for that. But the history of it, I don't remember how they got to get sport hunting and polar bear started. But during my time now, when I got started, but again going back to my time when I started sport hunting polar bear with my dog team, and we already had a booking agent in place. It was Kleinberger's out of the United States, so we just for the guys that are my age that got into the system, we just took it on as our parents and the other elders retired from the business itself. There's 5 of us here that continue on a tradition, but you know, after last year from 9/11, it's getting tough now to find clients that like to come and do this, because you don't know which way the world is turning today. And you know, the interesting thing I found about this business is that a lot of our clients play the stock markets, and this is how they pay for the big pricey hunts that they go on. Yeah, but today now it's very difficult life. You know, it's a difficult business to be in, because you don't know whether one day to the next if you're going to have any clients at all. But again, you know, going back to the dog, so you know, it's a international law that when we do guide for hunters for polar bear, that it is only done by dog team, because you know, back in the 70s or 60s and 70s in Alaska, it used to be legal to hunt polar bear by airplane. And then the hunters in Alaska that used to hunt them by airplane used to choose the size they want. And when they start depleting the breeding stock of the polar bears that are 10 foot plus, then when the international committee starts seeing that they were only taking the big boars and not very much breeding boars left, so they all got together internationally and made a law that, you know, everything the sport hunting of polar bears now has to be done by dog team. The majority of our clients now are from the United States, but you know, since polar bear is privatized now, we're within the 5 individuals again within our community, we're starting to get interest back from Europe now. So hopefully, you know, it'll be consistent with clientele that are going to be coming into our community. So we, because our livelihood right now is without sport hunting, Banksland will never have a stable economy. Yeah? Very difficult. Yes, yeah. Two springs ago, we had a gentleman from Colorado come up with a bow. You know, so he brought a 60-pound pull bow, and he got a polar bear 20-day hunt. But majority of our hunters come up with a 300 Winchester mag, or much larger 338, that caliber, or at 375, where they make sure that it's got a lot of killing power and high grain bullets. But for myself as a guide, I still believe in the old 30-06 150 grain bullet. Robert, when I started in this trade, I was lucky during my time that I was taught by very experienced individuals, you know, and you have to learn the ice conditions. You have to know how to drive your dog team and make sure that, you know how to operate and own your own equipment, and make sure all your equipment's up to par, up to standard, where that, you know, you don't have to depend on people to come and rescue or help you out at a time when, you know, especially when a client is paying so much money and expecting a good trip out of you. Yes, Yes, we do. Yeah, that was our biggest income, was our muskox hunts, because we have a certain type of breed here. It's called a Greenland Thule muskox, because we're out on the Arctic Islands, and a lot of our clientele like to hunt that breed of muskox. 3 winters ago, we made a commercial. A few of us guides here made a commercial for a company from the state of Michigan, and then all their hunters were using again 60-pound bows to harvest their muskox. So yeah, it's new. It's always new things that we learn here. And like this fall, again, a few of us guides went out to Caperon Lake, and the guys that we took out were 3 deaf people. So it's in this field, you're always learning something brand new. Yeah. Well, this time of year, yes, when you're out harvesting muskox, you salt it a lot and you clean it to the best you can. But with polar bear hides, we just, because it's in the middle of winter, and after we skin the animal, the hide gets frozen so it doesn't spoil because what they have to do with the polar bear hide is they have to send it to a taxidermist within Canada. So the furthest east it'll go is to Hawkins Taxidermy in Manitoba, and the furthest west it'll go to Robertson's Taxidermy in Yellowknife. So once it's frozen, the taxidermist will reach it before it has a chance to thaw and rot. I hope so. That's our main staple of economic income here, is to make sure we keep our clientele coming in time after time, so that we could keep the flow of our economy going within the community. But there's still a lot of work we have to do. We have to still do a lot of advertisement work, so that we could tell the rest of the world, this is a place to come to, so that we could, because that is our only income we have here. We don't have any non-renewable resource economy going like in the Mackenzie Delta or in the Beaufort area, and this all we have is renewable resources. So yeah, but we still got lots of work to do ahead of us. Past summer we privatized polar bear, so we're trying to get all these 5 individual dog teams to get set up, so that we start advertising our own companies and get things rolling here, so that we could build up good clientele and make sure that all our other guides that make sure that they could make some income too, so they could pay off some bills, and also to make sure that their dogs always have lots of feed on hand, because now it's tough now here, because there's no seals. There's seals, but there's not a plentiful amount of seals like we had 20 years ago. So it's very difficult now, and it's lucky that we have muskox here to help us save our seals for certain times of year. Then we could use other means to feed our dogs.
Inuin amigay tut ilihimayat Sachs Harbour. Ikahuk talwani hibukani tok Banksland. 200 nguyut Inuit talwani inuniak tut amigay tangkayut Inuvialuit. Hulip dak Inuit talwani inuniak tut kihanik anguniak paktut nunami nakikamingnik. anguniak pagtok. Taham na lo tahap kuat, anguniak utat, nakikangadlo, nakumot. Ilbatay may tumik, ubing namin kang nakibaktut.
May 30th, 1994,
Ukiwalok, ilbatay matin nakikaming.
about 8 to 9 miles from Sachs Harbour. Inside of the river, at this location and other locations, it's where the Inuvialuit harvest the waterfowl, snow geese in particular. They use that to feed their families throughout the year. The land is our storehouse of wealth and also food for our families.
Me. Out of it National Park. Out lang na kami. Hinikullo dalwa tahap ko at tayo mangani dalwa ni ito. Thompson River me. Nalanyani lo. Mercy Bay me lutaw huli. Hulit daw lo tayo matin uming makiwagtod. Tukutrib lutik nakikanginik. Tahap ko ng Inuvialuit Development Corporation. Kihanikli ikahu Sachs Harbour HTC talbataman na habakulupi wakta tahap kualo tay mat pigamik kibiyok liya kugilo ano kakanot swatanot nahangnot mit kahit katingnot. Ilbatay may timig tayo kanan Inuit. Ang uniyak pagtut natakyaw kutiglo nakikaming lik. Ulit daw lo aming inudlo. Ham na nakukiya tayo madod kuya ng mat inuhit.